The heavens have opened here in Silverstone. Welcome to round 10 of the Bronze Championship. And my goodness me, it is going to be a wet one here tonight. I hope you all packed your wellies here in Northamptonshire. It is the scene of the British Grand Prix. Oh gosh, I just spluttered everywhere. Hello, and it is 4 wet tyres then, and it is going to be an absolute difficult session to say the very least, isn't it? 18 minutes in this qualifying session to determine who is going to be starting on pole position and for the British Grand Prix here tonight then. And the championship is very much looking into the what am I saying? It's very much looking like a nude potato fiesta at the moment, but we ain't even at half distance yet, are we, in the World Championship? And it is New Potato who leads the way by 28 points now from Dr. True Potts, who has moved up into second position now. Jay Higgs is actually fancying intermediate tyres in these appalling conditions out there. We have got Vestia dropping down to third. He's having struggling with a bit of form lately. Vestia is there. Let's see if we get himself back into title contention here. Title-wise, certainly, definitely, very much is the. He certainly very much is in title contention there, albeit 35 points behind at the moment. TK 61 points behind the championship leader in fourth position. Slayer in fifth, with New Potato in sixth position. Seventh is Dynamo Dan with Marski in eighth position. Kiki in ninth. Great performance last time for Kiki in both the Sprint and the Grand Prix. Brooksy completes the top 10 then on 29 points. Then just continue with the rest of the championship. It is Styles in 11th on 21, 18 for Winnie. We got 13 for Vintage, 12 for Alibi. Duncan Dave on 11. Good result last time out for Duncan Dave. We got Smithfield Mighty in 16th. Sick as Muck is 17th. Itemizer 18th, 19th, and 20th for Scuba Stew and Swan Shanks there. And then we have got in the Constructors' Championship is the team on screen right now. It is the Ferrari who's leading the way on 39 points in front of the Alpine team, who are second. 39 points separates the top two at the moment. Third position is the Red Bull team on 15 points away from the Ferrari. Williams are fourth and on 120 points. And Mercedes on 99 points. They're almost at the 100 mark after round 9. And sixth position on 94 points. Alfa Romeo 92 points for the Haas team, very close indeed. Eighth position, the AlphaTauri, 29 points for the McLaren team, 26 points for the Aston Martin team there. And I've done all me bits and pieces before anyone's even done a lap in, so I am very happy with that. That's a fantastic start today. So hopefully a sign of things to go on then. Right, let's quickly get rid of the old comments then, shall we? Moving. Hi guys, good evening. I hope everyone's well again. Racing again tonight. My home GP, so brilliant to be racing here tonight for ALR. Amen to that, my man. Amen to that. Amen to that. Then. I was saying, blooming, it's raining then. I am so upset. It's raining, really. We've also got Formula Moments. Yo, fish and chips done. Now ALR time for Gurman. Yes, indeed, there. And hi, guys from Vestia as well. The question that I've got is, did Gurman have vinegar and salt and vinegar on his fish and chips? It'll be certainly something that I want to know. I must admit, I'm not really a big fan of vinegar. I don't know what. I don't know. I used to love vinegar back in the good old days, but I think it's because probably I had too much vinegar and I've run out of blood. We're just watching Jay Higgs, so we had a splash of yellow flag at the moment there, but nothing more than Knowlesy. It's wet. I think that Knowlesy might be singing "Love Is All Around Him" then as well. If anyone got that pun, you're as old as me. We're on board with Jay Higgs, and who I think has been an absolute star of bronze. Actually, this is his 8th start here tonight. He's driven for the Ferrari for the second week in a row then, because I think that Itemizer is not racing again here tonight then, and nor is Don Madan, so the two drivers that missed last week are not racing again here tonight then. Gurman, he certainly did have salt and vinegar, lovely stuff indeed. I ordered a dirty pizza and chips then. What's a dirty pizza and chips? Is or do I not want to know? Perhaps I do, or perhaps I don't. But whatever, I love all dirty food, to be fair. Look at this, goodness me. If you start in the rain, you're going to get you ain't going to be dirty for too long, are you? Golly gosh, there. As Jay Higgs there going through Maggots and Beckett's, and then accelerate out of Chapel. We've had a lot of wet races over the year in Silverstone, haven't we? Of course, 2012, the qualifying session. Was that Fernando Alonso's last pole position, or was that? No, it was Germany, wasn't it? Not Silverstone. But I think Fernando Alonso got pole position that day as well, didn't he? The 98 British Grand Prix always is a brilliant watch, isn't it? I suggested on Sunday to go and watch it. I would suggest again, it's an absolute fantastic. It's an absolute fantastic watch, and it really is indeed. That Jay Higgs has not gone fast because he invalidated his time whilst I was wondering what a dirty pizza was, which I should be doing more about my job, really, shouldn't I? Goodness gracious me! Oh, it's just one from the kebab shop. Haha. Oh, lovely. I must admit, I'm not a fan of pizza these days, which to be fair, you really wouldn't believe me, would you? Especially if you looked at the girth around me. Sick as Muck has gone third. Dr. True Potts is second. Well, no, he's also second in the World Championship. Dr. True Potts in a rich running form. I keep trying to pinch myself, but he is still he's very early in his ALR career. But my goodness me, he has taken to ALR quite quickly indeed as he's flying. Kiki very much on the up after a brilliant result last time out in Austria. Has propelled himself right up to the heart of the midfield in the World Championship as well. Kiki has there. He's always had the pace. Kiki has there. As whoa, oh goodness me! I thought he was gone there, but luckily Kiki there just about kept it on the old track there. I was going to order a baguette, but they said I had to eat in, and I wanted to eat out then. Goodness gracious me. To be fair, I do like a bit. I like a good baguette then. As Styles has gone fast at the moment now, and Moomin has gone second fastest. I do like. I am a fan of the old ham baguette. Then of course, we're a bit of mayonnaise in there as well. Just dribble that all over. It's fantastic. It really is indeed. As I thought Sick as Muck was off the circle then, but he just hit the hump there. We've got Jay Higgs on the intermediate tires, and he is quicker by 7/10 of a second there. Goodness gracious me. Kiki, do you love me? German is saying that song does go through my head quite a lot when I commentate on Kiki. But I'm going to be honest, I thought that was quite an old song, to be fair. Well, I say old song, probably the mid-2000s or something like that, maybe. New Potato then accelerated out of the final turn for New Potato, the champion. The champion of season 1, I should say, and of course the man who is leading the World Championship at this moment in time as well then. Brooksy out on circuit there. We've also got Scooby Stew who's attacking the old pit straight then. Here is Brooksy now then in the Alfa Romeo. I think he was very unhappy the way, gosh, I love the helmet. He was very unhappy the way the Austrian Grand Prix ended last time. I then go straight up into second fastest there. I've got to say it's borderline between the intermediates and the wet tyres at the moment, isn't it? I would say if it's borderline, you must go on the intermediate tyres surely there, as oh, good heavens there. Right, yes, indeed. I do love the old chat there, especially when Gerben, Liam, and Sirius Mushroom are involved. It always seems to, oh dear, and Brooksy's off the circuit. Having a spin there, and oh dear, he reset onto track there, didn't he? That's not very good, is it? Of course, we know, I think Milan used to do that a bit, didn't he? Didn't he get a penalty for that as well? I'm sure that, I can't remember who it was, but someone dobbed him in, didn't they? Which is shameful behaviour. Just watching Slayer there coming out of Luffield now, accelerating away then. We have got... So we're going to leave the baguette conversation for the minute. We've got Slayer going through Cop's corner then. My engineer says is intermediates apparently. A lot of Java drivers are starting to go on the intermediates as well now. The majority of the field is on the wets, but I think I agree with your engineer there, Moomin, because Jay Higgs has got the fastest lap there by quite some margin as well. Serge Mushroom is actually going to make an appearance in qualifying, isn't he? Golly gosh. Here's Scooby Stew. Scooby Stew very unlucky in Austria last week. I think he finished 11th in the end, didn't he? Scooby Stew did there. But he is starting to really rack up some decent form. And to be fair, in the Austrian Grand Prix and... was it Spain or Imola? It was Spain or Imola where he could have and should have got... I could have and should have got maybe some points as well. And Slayer's gone fastest there. We've got German saying he spun in the place where I hit the wall. Unfortunately for German, who had a bit of a nightmare race in gold on Sunday. German's had a bit of a nightmare season, to be fair. He's had technical gremlins out with the old interweb. And then, unfortunately, he kind of... I think him and Troy came to blows at this part of the circuit here, didn't they, really? Which was could have been very nasty indeed for Troy. Unfortunately, it was very nasty for Gurman, really, wasn't it? Because Gurman hadn't come to the pitch yet, whilst Troy and the leaders, I think, was it Sloth in front as well? I can't remember now. Goodness me, it was only a couple of days ago as well. Baku for Stu, he was on for the points there. Thank you very much, Liam. There, I knew I was somewhere around there. Yeah, indeed. I do play favourites. I'm not going to lie about it at all, because I do want to see Swanshanks and Scooby Stu get some points here tonight. As Slayer is just crawling back to the pit. Brooksy's on soft tyres there, but I don't think he's going to come out the pitch just yet. Sickers Muck has found a second in the second intermediate split time there. Kaz, good luck drivers there from Kaz, who you just on board now with Six Muck out of the final turn. Six Muck improves by a second and a half, goes 10th fast. Well, now we've got 7.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Well, I say 7.5 minutes, probably I should read the time a bit more. Smith Almighty then, flicking it through turn 1 and 2 there. Shamefully, I missed Silver last night, shockingly enough. I'm going to have to rewatch it I say tomorrow night, but maybe on Thursday, to be fair. I tried to go and play football. That didn't go very well, as unfortunately I waddled, fell over, and now there's a big old crater up at Hayward Pitch. But not only that, though, but I got through that fine, but then what did I do today? I fell over, and I've really hurt my knee. And I've got to say, it was one of the most embarrassing things I've done in a very long time. And yes, I did have a tear or two in my eye. I do blame me Skechers, though. They got no grip on them. Hopefully, Smith Almighty has more grip than my Skechers, and we're on board the McLaren driver again then. Smith Almighty, only 8 points so far this season for Smithy Almighty. He had a very good show in Saudi Arabia, didn't he? He does like Saudi Arabia, unless, of course, Farf's involved. We all know about what Farf did last season in Silver, don't we? Because he caused an absolute melee, didn't he? In that fast chicane of 21 and 22. But yeah, apart from Saudi Arabia there, Smithy Almighty hasn't really had much to write home about, unfortunately, in this McLaren, has he? It's really, I think he's just struggled to get to grips then with the McLaren Mercedes, and I think Styles has as well to a certain degree then, but Styles, of course, got on the podium beautifully in Baku, didn't he? For Styles, and then, of course, he also scored a very well-deserved 7th position in Miami. But apart from that, the two McLaren drivers have not really been on a rich run of form after that. So this McLaren, well, just like I say that, Smith Almighty puts me in my place there, and really just shows that I absolutely have no idea what I'm talking about. But hopefully this will be a sign of things to come then for Smith Almighty. On board with Winnie, of course, he was driving superb in Baku, wasn't he? And I think he got some major points in Canada, I believe it was. My mind is going absolutely... I used to be able to remember results. And look at that there, Stars and Smith Almighty. It's a 1-2 for the McLaren team. It just shows that I know absolutely nothing about about Formula 1 racing. Moomin has gone fastest now with Slayer in second position. Good times. The times are starting to tumble now like a fruit machine as we're just watching Winnie. So there could be some upsets here. There are 5.5 minutes to go in this qualifying session. There is going to be a lot of upsets, and this could make for a very good grid then. Winnie goes at 6th fast. The two McLarens that were top in the timesheets about 30 seconds ago, now 5th and 4th here. This is going to be like the European Grand Prix, European qualifying back in 1999 now. Partly like it's 1999, I certainly do. I do love that qualifying session. Of course, Hightower Frentzen got pole position. Unfortunately, that was also the day after was the day where Frentzen's championship challenge in the Jordan in 99 unfortunately didn't go too well. Vintage, Alibi and Vesser all out of qualifying, both Red Bulls near the back of the field, and they Red Bull had a nightmare race in gold, didn't they? Unfortunately, I must admit, I haven't seen Sylvia, I'm not going to lie. I need to watch Silver, but I'll watch it tomorrow. No, I won't. I'll watch it Thursday, of course, whilst I'm digging into my pasta. On board Scooby Stew coming out of left field in the Alpine. Accelerated away. They're just going to watch what Duncan Dave does first. Duncan Dave on a good run of form then after a brilliant look the helmet, by the way. I love a bit of black and purple. That's fantastic. Duncan Dave also goes 8 fast as well, which is probably a bit more important for Duncan Dave, more than what his headwear is. That will do for practice. Then Serious Russia was saying that while Serious Russia did come out for a lap or two, I believe, before going back into the pits, we've seen a quick snippet of Serious Mushroom there. Swan Shanks there, slightly off the circuit there, but just about keeping it in play. Well, just about in play anyway. But he has it validated now, as he was just going to watch Scooby Shooter flicking it into Stowe corner. Quite infamous, that corner is, if you're a Ferrari fan. Of course, Michael Schumacher's championship challenge ended effectively there in 1999. We've just seen Winnie go 6th fastest, but then that's quickly eclipsed by Brooks. He is now up into 5th fastest. We've got Scooby Shoo out the final turn. Scooby Shoo goes 8th fastest in the heart of the midfield at the moment. Scooby Shoo, it's 3.5 minutes going in this qualifying session. Wet start, short, and then drying up. Thank you very much, Serious Bush. Brilliant stuff indeed. It sounds like my day tomorrow, of course, mainly because I've got to have a shower, I think, before going out tomorrow, because I'm a sweaty mess. Also, I haven't even started qualifying yet, probably. Goodness me. 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. I hope it's not raining tomorrow either, because I've only got one raincoat as well now, which is a bit of a shame. Yes, as the other one is ripped, which ain't good. Swan Shanks there is in 16th at the moment. Car 47 in the Aston Martin. Hopefully the audio is better as well now, because Milan said on Sunday that my audio was a bit too high, or my game audio was a bit too high. Which I tinker every now and again, and Duncan Dave a second and a half quicker, and he's now moved up to 5th fastest here. I was purple in sector 2. I should have kept going, but I'm scared. Serious Mushroom was saying that he is not a fan of the carbon fibre zone, is he? Serious Mushroom, of course, that's the heart of the midfield. Here is Duncan Dave in the Williams. Brilliant job indeed there for Duncan Dave. One of the McLarens has come through. It's Styles, I should say, up into 8th position now in the McLaren Mercedes. Brilliant stuff indeed there for Stars. Someone's going to get caught out here, I think, no. Is anyone going to put on a fresh set of intermediate tyres? So we've got a couple of drivers in the pits, the likes of Marsky. The top 3 are all in the pits as well. Movements now come out on circuit. I think that as Winnie is crawling, and that is not good news for Winnie. And I wonder if Winnie might be one of the drivers that's getting caught out. Is he run out of fuel? Because his light is solid red there, which is not good at all then. Oh dear, oh dear. As goodness gracious me, Milan will find any excuse for his bad driving there. Slayer just was absolutely shocked by that comment there, and he's just gone oof. Brooksy in 6th position at the moment there. Of course, Milan has of course, I think he's got 2 wins this season. Milan has, hasn't he? He's been he's been very much on the case, hasn't he? Milan has this season. Great to see. Swan Shanks has gone at 5th and 6th fastest, which is very good to see indeed. Yeah, very good indeed. Then, unfortunately, Milan didn't get any points, I don't think, on Sunday, did he? Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, anyway. I hope so, because we just understand it. Mistimed my last run off, and it's Duncan Dane's on pole position here. 60 seconds to go in this qualifying session. 3/10 of a second up on New Potato. Then this is going to get very interesting indeed. Now there is going to be some tears, I am sure of it, in this qualifying session. 3 seconds up. Kiki is now. We might have a new pole sitter this season. This is going to get very fruitful indeed. Out of the final turn, and Kiki, that's good. That's pole position out by 3/10 of a second here. Lovely stuff indeed then. And what about the Ferrari of Jay Higgs? Jay Higgs is invalidated his time there, but he has time for one more run when the McLaren's is in the pits. That's Styles. That is not a good time to be in the pits for Styles, unfortunately. That is going to be crucial. I've lost my headset, which ain't very good. What about Moomin? I thought it's the second half of Marsky, which is stuck behind at one of the Ferraris. So that's not good at all. The Alpine, who is that Alpine now? I think that was Dr. Truepots, right down in 16th position at the moment. The man who's second the World Championship. That is not ideal at all, is it? Sick as muck there. About to start us out then. We've got the other Aston Martin of Swan Shanks also out there as well. I think Swan Shanks might be the first driver to call it a day. No, he isn't there. He isn't the first driver at all. But I was wondering if he'd be the first driver to cross the line there. He's in the pits now. What about Winnie? Winnie, oh goodness me. Winnie there is doing the Valtteri Bottas line there, as he is doing a bit of grass cutting there. Unfortunately, that is invalidated. Slayer is also finished well. He said he mistimed his run, and he certainly has. He is going to be 5th, but I think he's going to be tumbling down the order quite quickly in this one. And he's saying, why didn't he put a lap in earlier? Which, so he's going to be ruining that one, isn't he? I'm looking for a Haas at the moment now, and I think I'm looking for Moomin. Here he is, and Moomin is second up then. Is that good enough for pole position? And he is very much in the ballpark here for pole position. But let's see what he can do then. If he can find a couple more tens in the final sector, this could be pole position for Moomin. And goodness me, this will be his first pole position, and he's done it by 4 tenths of a second there. But then Kiki's on pole position. He's already a 2-time pole sitter in his career now, and he is now on pole. What about the Ferrari? Jay Higgs goes third fast in the end there for the Ferrari team. What about New Potato? And he's a second and a half up in the second split time here for New Potato. Then out of the final turn then for the Ferrari, and New Potatoes on pole position by 100th of a second there. When the Haas cars has just got across the line again, I did see who it was, and it was Marsky. Dr. True Potts has got himself up in the third position now. And what about Brooksy? Brooksy, the final drivers then to come across the line. And he's almost lost it, but he's kept it going. He's got fourth in the end there, but he's surely lost a bit of time. But it's New Potato pole position for the fourth time this season. And that is the first time New Potato has been on pole position since when? Goodness gracious me. Since Baku. Since Baku. That was the first time he's been on pole position since Baku. My golly gosh. Great stuff indeed there, and he timed it absolutely to perfection. There's pole position for New Potato, and that is New Potato's career tally, which takes him to 10 pole positions of his career. Magnificent stuff indeed. In 36 qualifying attempts, been on pole position 36 qualifying attempts, been on pole position 10 times. My golly gosh, there. Fantastic stuff indeed there. New Potato pole position and by 1100 a second from Kiki in second. Can Kiki build on his brilliant performance last time out then? Third position, Dr. True Potts then with Brooks in the heart in fourth. Moomin in fifth position with Jay Higgs, Marsky, Duncan, Dave and TK and Slayer. Completing the top 10 then. My cat ruined my lap then, goodness me. Come on, what a time, haha. This is close then. The Naked Spud does it then, fantastic. As we now get on it to the race then. Well, Serious Mushroom lied to me then. That's absolutely shocking behaviour, isn't it? It's not wet at all. Serious Mushroom said it was meant to be raining at the start and drying up. Well, there is not a cloud in the sky here, is it? Goodness me. Absolutely opposite ends of the weather spectrum here, isn't it? What a beautiful day here is it, Northamptonshire. The game lied then. That's what I was going to say. I hope that Mushroom hasn't put on a wet setup. But do you really have wet setups in Formula 1 these days? In real world of Formula 1, it's not too different, is it? But I'm wondering if it is a bit different in the old game there, isn't it? Knowlesy, oh goodness me, ruining the lap there. That damn kitty cat there. Of course, I've had to censor Knowlesy then. Goodness gracious me. Yes, dry race, get it. Moomin is saying, Goku, don't do a Zumba. Oh goodness gracious me. Gosh. Right, let's get on with the race, shall we? Only one driver on the soft tyre, everyone else is on the medium tyre. If you watched the stream on Sunday, you would have realised that I was completely wrong about the old strategical core, because I was convinced there was going to be a soft compound runner at the end there. Of course, without the safety car, there wouldn't have been a soft runner, so I was completely wrong. It's going to be medium to hard or hard to medium. Winnie's going to go attackive in the opening strategy then. Nosy, what's a wet setup then? 0-0 wings then. I always set up for the wet at the end then. Sounds legit. Goodness me. Right, let's go for the grid, shall we, from front to back then. Soft tires there for Winnie. It is medium tires for Sick as Muck, for Styles, for Duncan, Dave, Marsky and Jay Higgs. Serious Mushroom in 20th position there. Vessier, who's third in the championship, 19th on the grid there. Alibi in 18th, and both Red Bulls, unfortunately, in gold and bronze, having a nightmare weekend so far. Vintage in 17th position there. Sick as Muck in 16th, man. Hoping to use those medium tires to his advantage there. Smithy in 15th. Scooby Stew in 14th, with Styles in 13th. Winnie on soft tires in 12th position. Watch that man fly. 11th position is Swan Shanks. 10th position, and now it's all the points. The men who are in the points then to start off this race. And Slayer in 10th position there, ruin his opportunity in qualifying now. TK down in 9th position, who's fourth in the championship. He's going to be a bit unhappy with his grid position, I'm sure of it. Duncan, Dave and 8th there. He looks strong in the wet there. He might be a bit disappointed if it's dry then, but perhaps not. It might just be a circuit he's a fan of. Marsky in 7th. 6th position is Jay Jay Higgs there. Brilliant, isn't he? He's been reserving 7 times for bronze. He's been fantastic. Moomin in 5th position there. Similar for Moomin. Jay Higgs and Moomin been brilliant reserves there. Looking forward to seeing him become full-time sooner or later in ALR. 4th position is Brooksy. Brilliant qualifying. And then the last gasp effort there for Brooksy. He could have and should have, may have been on the front row potentially. It was for that slide at the end there. Dr. True Potts in 2nd of the World Championship. 3rd on the grid there. Kiki showing his pace in qualifying. Race trim he struggled with. However, he is looking a lot stronger, isn't he, in race trim in the last few weeks or so. Can he keep that going? And here is the new potato, the championship leader. Pole position as well for the 10th time of his career in ALR Bronze then, as he lines up on the grid now, preparing himself for the start then, as Dr. True Potts has just disappeared out of sight there. Let's get going then for the start. Of course, we did have a safety car start last night, didn't we? As I think Smith Almighty has certainly got the hacks, hasn't he, on last night? Perhaps he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to have any instance of the start line, did he? We did have an incident on Sunday. Let's see if it's going to be clean here tonight in Bronze. And the red lights are on then, and out we go. No! Good start from New Potato there. It's a terrible start. Yellow flags already, as I'm not sure. It's a VSC straight from the get-go here. And just like in Silver, we have got a VSC then, which has really dampened the spirits in this so far. Well, that's a shame. And it's Sick as Muck is going to get penalised. He's going to have to get out those positions ASAP here. Otherwise, he's going to get a penalty. We're on board with Sick as Muck. And yeah, unfortunately, that's 2 races in the row now that we have had a VSC there. So maybe it's not Smith Almighty. Maybe I'm pointing the finger at the wrong man potentially. Maybe I should be pointing it at. Maybe I should be pointing out Codemasters potentially there. But at the moment it's a VSC, which is kind of, I must admit, I'm a bit disappointed about that, selfishly, because I do love the start. It's probably one of the most exciting parts of the race, isn't it, the start? However, unfortunately, this VSC has really put in a bit of a dampener on as well. Had a full safety car on the start yesterday then. So yeah, it's a full safety car last night, and it's a VSC tonight. We're racing here, and goodness me, that's taken me very much unaware there. And Kiki's all over the gearbox of New Potato, and Dr. True Potts is also trying to push on his as we come down the hanger straight here. Sick as Muck is now up 2 positions, so is Vesh as well. Look at this, and there's slipstream as well. No DRS until the end of the second lap there as we flick into Stowe corner here. Ferrari leads with AlphaTauri in second, Alpine with Alfa Romeo with Haas Ferrari, and who is that off? It's TK. TK, that's a nightmare for the man who's 4th in the championship, and TK is off the circuit, and he's going to have to storm his way through the field then, isn't he, if he wants to get back in this one. But that is not good at all then for TK. He's dropped right down to 11th now. He had a difficult qualifying, and now he's unfortunately had a difficult start to the race as well. On board there with Brooksy. Love the helmet, by the way. That's a fantastic helmet design there for Brooksy. Mega stuff indeed then. We're on board now with the Alfa Romeo driver. All over the back of Dr. True Potts at the moment there. So Delta gets to sort itself out there. Up 3 positions is Whitney there. Both Mercedes have flown away then. And look at this. And it's New Potato trying to defend and break off the slipstream as quickly as possible. So is Aston Martin in the background. Brooksy into Brooklyn there. Maybe it's named after him, but he's now up into 3rd position there. Passes to True Potts, who's 2nd in the World Championship. New Moomin is now all over the back of True Potts as well, and True Potts said really was very much on the gearbox of the front too, but then since then it's dropped away, hasn't he, after a very leisurely start here in the British Grand Prix, of course, where he had a VSC to get us underway then on board the Haas car as well, as we ride with him there. Go left, go right, said through Maggots, Beckett and Chapel there. I don't even know which way left and right is, to be honest, but all I do know is I turn it very fast. Here comes Moomin. They're on board for that. It's wheel to wheel down the hanger straight then. Who is going to brake first? It's not really a braking zone down there, though, is it? It's a very fast right-hander. It's Stowe corner, but he's certainly going to have a sniff up the inside. Is he going for it? He's having a look. But Dr. True Potts there had the racer line, had the position, and he did not want to yield at that moment in time. Then New Potato set the fast off the racer on lap 2 here in this one. Scooby Stew and Swanshanks dropped down the order of Vesture, now up and do 13th here. Once again, Jay Higgs doing a splendid job in the Ferrari. DRS has now been enabled. New Potato is out of the DRS detection zone. That is crucial in this race. And up the inside, goes who? I think it's the Duncan Dave passes Swanshanks. And away he goes. Magnificent stuff indeed there. Accelerated away. Accelerated away then. And now as Swanshanks is down in his 12th position there. So this is DRS. So DRS is available on the Wellington Straight then, which is just passed. And of course down the Hanger Straight there. New Potato is flying away now. Is there? Goodness me. He's already got a 2nd and 3/10 there over Kiki already after just 1.5 racing laps. Goodness gracious me then. Flicking it into I'm sweaty. Flicking it into Cop's corner. Jay Hicks going slightly wide there. We do not rent that part of the circuit, do we? Now Swanshank's also doing the same line as Jay Hicks. And perhaps I'm wrong then. Flicking it through Chapel as well there. But Kiki is going to get a bit of a sinking feeling now because he's going to have Brooksy and 2 pots all over the back of him. However, whoa, it's a Brooksy having a look there. Yellow flag there. One of the Red Bulls off the circuit. Who's that? That's Alibi off the circuit. That is going into Maggots there. And well, no, that's not right, is it? That's appalling there from Codemasters there, as Alibi's been disqualified for driving the wrong way. I'm not sure, to be honest, it looked like he's just trying to recover back onto the circuit, and unfortunately, he's been disqualified there. Potentially may have tried to go on there in a better way, but there was no cars around him, so I feel that was harsh indeed then. So Alibi out of the Grand Prix after having issues there, unfortunately. So that's disappointing, and goodness me, Brooksy there getting very wayward. As I was looking at the comments there, I think we got Hammer Time in there, the former Cobalt champion. We've got True Pots now in the 3rd position with Brooksy down into 4th and having an all kind of opposite of lock there, didn't he? As I'm just taking another look then as well then. So just he just too much curb, didn't he, Brooks? That's your badge now on the stream. A little 20 seconds behind then, so you can actually rewatch what happened there. Duncan Davis is now back behind Swanshank somehow then, whilst he was watching Alibi having a nightmare, the last lap around there. Red Bull then disappointing indeed, but Vestier then is still in this race at the moment there. He is in 13th position. He is right behind Duncan Dave, and Vestier is up 6 positions at this moment in time. No pit stops has been instigated. No one's come to the pitch just yet. Goodness gracious me then. I might have to get out of a dictionary soon. Goodness me, I need to eat a thesaurus. I don't think a thesaurus is even what I need, is it, to be fair? Well, up the inside goes Duncan Dave and Vesser getting past Swanshanks. Swanshanks on the medium tires at the moment, but so is Duncan Dave. But Vesser is looking strong at this moment in time now, flicking it through the field in the Red Bull, all over the back of the Williams car of Duncan Dave. Going back to the front because Moomin is looking very feisty here in the Haas car. Love the helmet as well. A bit of blue in bit of aqua blue and pink then. Always is a treat, isn't it? Look at New Potato. Here's a gap. He's lost half a second somewhere. So all of a sudden, and this race is back on, isn't it? New Potato. Oh, it's goodness me. We've got a bit of slipstreaming going on here, and we, of course, as long as you don't weave in the braking zone, all is fine and dandy. Unless, of course, you're Lewis Hamilton back in Malaysia, 2010 and 11. There, he did the same thing on the 2 Renaults, didn't he? In 2010 and 11, there, as we even tried to break the slipstream there, which I think as long as it's an excessive weave, and I think Hamilton did do excessive weaving back then, didn't he? I think he also got towed off recently as well. Oh my goodness me! New Potato's got a 3-second penalty. That is like goodness. Oh goodness gracious me! We've got another. I wonder if those soft tires are starting to fall off the cliff now for Winnie. I'm not even sure if we use the cliff term anymore, do we? The Mercedes car is probably not looking too happy on those soft tires, is it? But New Potato, who has sprinted away and now all of a sudden has really got himself into a bit of bother here. There's Styles up into 9th position in the McLaren Mercedes. Good hustle indeed then. Now back at the front then. New Potato leads them with Kiki, Dr. True Pots, Brooksy, Moomin, and we got Vesser getting past Winnie as well. I think that just underlines Winnie's got a very dirty Mercedes underneath him at the moment there. So I think he's had a trip across the grass somewhere. Bit of cross country and here in Northamptonshire. Across the start-finish straight they go. We have now got a 3, 4, 5, 6 car battle for the lead potentially. They're all in DRS range then. And to me, that is a battle then. Of course, the DRS and Texas zone will be open for everyone apart from this Ferrari driver right here, New Potato, who is going to be very much driving with his wing mirrors now. But that 3-second penalty, I think, is going to be crucial in the outcome of this Grand Prix, I would say. Do I dare look down at the comments? I'm going to try. Hammer time, seeing Brooks in the top 3, takes 1-1 back to Cobalt Season 2. And how are you doing, guys? Good to see ALR doing good there. Welcome back, mate. Knowlesy is saying there. And I don't think anything happened there as I quickly sprung back up into the onto the screen there to make sure everything was fine and dandy. It's certainly not for my person. My goodness me, I am sweating like a... sweating like I normally sweat when I'm next to a salad bar. Watching Vessier going through maggots and Beckett's here. I just watching some of the fan footage of the cars going around there. It's absolutely sublime. And Vessier, goodness me, and we got an overtake for second here. Vessier's through. Kiki is also lost second position. Dr. Truepots, has he been sitting, watching and waiting? And now that he's started to spring into life, and he's had a bit of a so-so exit out of turn 18. Now, can Kiki take advantage? No, he cannot, going down the Hamilton Straight. There is no DRS down that Hamilton Straight, was there? I think there was only, I think that they only had that for 1 or 2 seasons, didn't they? The I think it was only 1 season, actually. Kind of, was it 2018 or 2019 or 2017, maybe? I don't know. All those years merged for me for some reason. It's because I'm getting old, you see. Yeah, they only had DRS that one time, didn't they? Down that straight. And yeah, Dr. Truepots ended that. The final couple of corners on that last lap was not very stellar there, was it, from Dr. Truepots? And he has dropped off the back of New Potato. But New Potato is really struggling there, isn't it? As you can see there, look, Dr. Truepots is getting 2/10 of a second arm through Brooklands and through Luffield. Now, what is the Ferrari going to be able to do here then? I think he's going to be very much... he has to look forward, though, doesn't he, as Truepots is off the circuit. Is that going to be costly? Not quite. And, of course, you get 3 track warnings. Oh, well, you get 2 track warnings. Then the third one, you get a penalty, of course. And it's a 3-second penalty normally. Only driver that's got that so far is New Potato. Of course, that is added to the end of your race time there. So if New Potato finishes like this at the moment, he will be dropping down all the way to 6th position. Jay Higgs has passed Moomin up into 5th position now. Moomin dropping down to 6th. But it's great to see Moomin in the action there, but he's got up and under and back past Jay Higgs. A great manoeuvre there. A bit of going on the inside there as Moomin there getting past the front. But this battling is not ideal because now both of them are out of the DRS range of Brooksy in 4th position. Vintage has now got past Scooby Stew in the battle for 15th and 16th there. And Kiki, who was very close to the button, Jay Higgs going to have another look. No, he isn't, not yet. Moomin's rear end is very much skating left and right there, as Jay Higgs is also trying to control that Ferrari as well. Jay Higgs is on the softer tyre here, is on the medium compound, so he would like to get through, but Moomin's back end there is really struggling, isn't there? It's not very compliant in that Haas car. Now he is alongside. Look how hot it is. The heat hates coming off the tarmac here, down the Wellington Straight. Jay Higgs now up into 5th position. Can he stay there? And on board now, the Ferrari. We're looking back at Moomin Ninja, as I think the Moomin has struggled for traction, hasn't he, over the past couple of corners or so. So I think the Moomin might be able to stay in the DRS detection zone, but I do feel he's going to struggle to follow the Ferrari around these fast corners here. And talking of fast corners, we're on board with Kiki now. Goodness me, doesn't it feel like, the front 2 have got the penalties now. Kiki and Brooksy are looking coolly composed now, and Dr. Troop Potts has lost a 2/10 of a second and maybe more than that. And here comes Kiki. I think he's out of deployment there as he's on the outside into Stone Corner. And he's on the outside. He has done it. Great manoeuvre there on board the nose cone of the Alpine. And Kiki up into 2nd position. Passes the Alpine. Now, he is a second behind. The Ferrari. He needs to get back in that DRS detection zone as well. Of course, DRS is quite powerful around here. We heard that from Tango's technical tips on Sunday night, didn't we? So, he's already back in the detection zone as well. That just shows how much more confidence he's got over the Ferrari at the moment. And into the pits comes Winnie then. I assume that Winnie will probably go into the hard tires now to the end of the race there. But he may be feeling a bit vulnerable later on then. Come on, Brooks. You got this, brother, there from Hammer Time. Evening, Sean. Hope you're well. From Broke Gorilla as well. Good evening to you, Broke Gorilla. Of course, a former driver of ALR back in season 1 and 2, and also a co-commentator with me and Knowlesy way back in yesteryear. One of my favourite commentator booths was certainly when it was Knowlesy and Broke Gorilla and myself in the commentary box in Hungary, as Yes, I can't remember the gist of it then, but someone certainly got absolutely, let's just say, it was a very brutal incident indeed. I'm very impressed. I kept my composure because it did look quite funny on the stream, which I shouldn't laugh about that because that is shocking behaviour indeed. Remember though that I was a lot younger, but that was about 5 years ago. Gosh, time flies when you're having fun. Half a second, the gap is at the front of the one, then New Potato, of course, and Dr. True Pots do have penalties. Sick as Merc is the other driver that has a penalty as well. Serious Mushroom hasn't really gained much ground, down in 17th position, has he? He's all over the back of the McLaren of Smith the Almighty, who's down in 16th. But Serious Mushroom is quite high up in the top 10 of the World Championship, down in 17th at the moment, but this race might come back to him later on then. TK also trying to recover as well after a first lap spin. He is back up into 13th now, TK has shown that he has pace as well, but unfortunately he hasn't been able to use it. Jay Higgs is now a second and a half behind Brooksy out of DRS, so this 6-car train has now dropped to 4 cars in this one. And I'm very intrigued about how this one goes. And Vessier, goodness me, all over the back of Marsky here as Vessier has made his way through the field very calmly and calculated. Hasn't he, the man who's second in the third in the World Championship? He's had a couple of disappointing results, hasn't he, Vessier? But let's see if he can get himself back on this one. Yellow flag in the background there. Someone has had a cropper, have they? Just taking a look. I can't see who is having a cropper, to be honest there. But someone's had some issue. Into Cobb's corner now. It goes to the Ferrari, then followed by Kiki. The two Italian-based teams there, leading the British Grand Prix at the moment with Dr. True Pots in third position. Dr. True Pots is about 6 second way. He gained so dramatically in the final part of the Beckett's and Chapel complex. Here's Kiki, and he's all over the back of the Ferrari. He's going to do the same maneuver he did on Dr. True Pots on the outside into Stowe, and he has done it. But the Ferrari is not giving up. That New Potato is staying on the outside. Kiki on the inside. And New Potato swoops across there, reclaims the lead there. We've got Williams off, I think that is there at the back of the field. And I think that is TK dropping right down to the back. Something's happened there to Kiki, unfortunately. And flicking it into turn 1. New Potato had an issue there in turn 1 there. That's not where he wanted an issue there. And Kiki is up the inside there. No, he's not there. Winnie's got a 3-second penalty as well. Then for his troubles, as Winnie there is gone onto the medium tyres. Unbeknownst to me, I thought he was going on the hard tyres, so I should have probably have looked at that rather than assumed, shouldn't I? Of course, so Winnie going for an aggressive second stint here. Kiki, the went straight is not long enough here. And look at that then, True Pots and Brooksy once again then homing in on the top two. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a quad of drivers here battling for the lead with Higgs and Moomin there in 5th and 6th position there. Oh my word there. We got a bit of a conga line forming behind Sick as Muck at the moment. Serious Mushroom up into 14th now. But yeah, they're all starting to condense on that Aston Martin of Sick as Muck there. Sick as Muck must have some issues there. Smithy Almighty's also got past Vintage. I think the Sick as Muck's medium tyres might be struggling, but Jay Higgs's medium tyres are doing a good job at the moment. That's a beautiful run here for Kiki. He had to get off the throttle though, didn't he? Because New Potato placing his car splendidly well then. The veteran of bronze here. And but now Kiki has taken the lead then at the British Grand Prix. And oh goodness me, look at this. There's a wheel to wheel then into the final couple of corners then. And Dutch True Pots has had to stay in second position for now. But now can Kiki put his toe down? He has never won a Grand Prix in ALR. He has been on pole position twice, maybe 3 times. I have to look at my stat book. But he has been on pole position a couple of times. But he's never got a race win there for Kiki. He is looking on form at the moment here. Moomin has got a 3-second penalty there. We got some overcast clouds coming in over yonder there, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. I'm wondering then if we are going to be expecting a bit of rain later on then. Alibi is retired from the race, albeit he's already retired, so I'm not sure how that works, but Alibi is unfortunately, disappointingly, has had to leave the session. He's out of the race after getting disqualified for recovering back onto the circuit. Kiki has not been able to shake New Potato yet, has he? But I think the New Potato might be a bit more concerned about this Alpine at the moment, because Dr. True Pots looks the quicker out of the 2 drivers. I think Kiki is looking quite comfortable there. Look at how much time True Pots really gains through Cop's corner. That is pretty mega stuff. And so True Pots said, even with all the dirty air coming out of the back of that Ferrari, that's being spit out of the back of that Ferrari, he is still able to go through Cop's corner very much more pleasantly lead in the Ferrari. Lap 12 out of 26 here. Remember that we had a couple of undercuts going on there. There's a Ferrari. Has a look at Kiki. But Kiki there would not be deterred, would he, at the moment? When is when are the drivers going to come in the pits? Is it too early to come in the pits just yet? There's the top four. Into the pits comes Jay Higgs there on the medium tyres there. We're not too surprised by Jay Higgs there. Vesser's got a 3-second penalty. That could be costly as well here. Whoa, is Dr. Trupot's well off the circuit there. And goodness me, almost knocked me brow off. And there they are then. Goodness me, this has been a great race, hasn't it? Really enjoying this one. Then the top four, brilliant driving indeed. Then Moomin and Higgs was very much a part of this top four battle as well. They have dropped off, haven't they, over the last couple of laps or so. We'll keep an eye to see where Jay Higgs comes out in the Ferrari. This is a long pit lane. I think it is the longest in terms of time you lose in the pit lane over the season. If he can, he might get up behind. He's going to be up behind TK as well. But hopefully, he's got a nice gap here, hasn't he? Jay Higgs has, and so he may actually start to really put in some decent laps here and go for the undercut then. Of course, that's what Sloth did. That's what Sloth did on Sunday night there. But unfortunately, with those old tyres compared to the new medium tyres of the front runners, well, he was the front runner as well, really. But compared to the other drivers well onto the medium tyres, he didn't really have a hope of defending, did he? Unfortunately, did Sloth him. But let's see how this one goes. It's a new Grand Prix. It's a new day. It's not all one on paper, is it? But he did have about a 4-second deficit to these drivers here. So it's going to be a couple of laps then before he gets even into the zone. Then as Kiki has lost the lead here, as New Potato has taken the lead here in the British Grand Prix. And look at this, Kiki making a late dash into the pit lane then. He has to slow down to 60 kilometers an hour. That was a very late call indeed there for Kiki. Then New Potato retakes the lead here with Dodge Jukebox in second and Brooksy in third position. Gurman is saying that Brooksy is being patient. He certainly is at the moment, isn't he? He's doing a great job out there. Brooksy is there. Moomin is now dropping into the clutches of Slayer. Moomin has really struggled with tyre wear over this first stint, hasn't he there? He's unfortunately dropped off quite considerably over the last couple of laps or so. Anyone else into the pits? I hear you are said. Well, yes, there's quite a few. Well, I say a few. There's only three in them. There's only three in the pits at the moment. Kiki, Vester, both on the medium tyres. We've also got what about Higgs? Said I hear that he's overtaken Kiki as well. Has he? He has. No, he hasn't. Yes, he has. There he goes. So that is the power of the undercut there. Kiki, though, does have the newer tyre. And, of course, remember, Vessier has just come in the pits as well. And he ain't too far away at all, is he? Goodness gracious me. Vessier is quite close. That's a lot closer than I thought Vessier would be here in this one. Sorry, I thought my mic was vibrating there. Goodness gracious me. Right then, Vessier is only 6 seconds away from Kiki, who was actually leading the race, wasn't he, a number of laps ago? I think that might be a cause for concern for these three up here potentially. But let's see how this plays out. There is still a 6-second gap. Then New Potato comes into the pits now as well. Anyone else coming into the pits? No, Brooksy. Brooksy in the pits as well. So Brooksy and New Potato both coming into the pits on lap 14 now onto the medium tyres. I'm sure if it Dodge Trupot is extending this stint now. So is Moomin. So that means that Slayer is going to be in the pit as well and going for the undercut. I wonder if Moomin should have come in this lap there to defend against the undercut potentially. Whoa, is Marsky is resting that car. Swan Shanks. Oh, that's a shame. He's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane here. J Higgs jumped Kiki in the stop. Sir. Good stuff indeed there for J Higgs. I haven't said that, then they've just swapped, haven't they? And now Kiki is back into 14th position. Jay Higgs set the fast lap race. I've got a bit of gravel on the circuit there. Someone has come across her. Where's Vessier then? I think there's look at who's that? That's New Potato. Look at New Potato then. It's now Kiki on the outside. Then he's going to take this one. This is crucial for the Grand Prix lead. And Kiki has taken the lead then at the British Grand Prix. And goodness me, that is very crucial indeed. Where's Brooksy? He's only 4/10 of a second back then. We'll see a flash the Alfa Romeo suit, but here comes the Ferrari, and of course he's going up the inside into Brooklands there. Oh my goodness me, so close, wheel to wheel racing at its absolute best here in the British Grand Prix. Magnificent, absolutely incredible here. And Jay Higgs, I think that he's going to struggle with pace there with the medium shod cars now. But let's see how this one transpires. Vessier is now only 5 seconds down the road. I think Vessier is going to be in the next 6 or 7 position when all the stops plays out potentially. Dodge True Pots, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That is crucial. That's 8 seconds of penalties now for Dr. True Pots. If he doesn't stop again, that is going to be added to the end of his race time. Now, Kiki, let's see what New Potato can do here. Look at New Potato. He is going to just breeze past Kiki. Takes it in the British Grand Prix once again. It is very much after you, so they've been swapping positions, but Kiki's coming back at him now up the inside. But he thinks better of it then. He thinks better of it than for Kiki then. So, but I'm impressed with Jay Higgs. They're doing a great job on those hard tires at the moment. Very good 17 in that second Ferrari. Where is Dr. True Pots? I hear us, and he's just coming out of the pit lane. He is, I don't think he's in the ball game at this moment in time. Dr. True Pots isn't there. Look at it. Oh, goodness me, he is in the ball game. There he is. And he's now just, as Jay Higgs has just gone in front of Dr. True Pots. I'm impressed of how quickly True Pots is kept with this gang of cars because that is absolutely fantastic, isn't it, for True Pots? Because the undercut is quite powerful around here, and I thought he was going to be, well back, but that is absolutely impressive for Dr. True Pots. Nosy, Jay Higgs has got himself in the fight for the win/podium. Indeed, then of course I am skeptical about these hard tires just from what happened in Gold on Sunday, but maybe, just maybe, the hard tires might be a better tire towards the end of this race. Then maybe. Or I would say definitely. Oh, Brooks has got a 3-second penalty out. I thought Jay Higgs had one as well. But it's Brooks who got the penalty there. Jay Higgs there, who unfortunately scampered wide in Cop's corner. There's a Ferrari trying to get past an Alpine here. Is the Alpine now going to no, Dr. I was wondering if Scooby Shoo might help his teammate out there, but he is on very old tyres there. Look at that. That's True Pots going past Jay Higgs there. Down at the hangar straight then. And now up into as Scooby Shoo into the pits. And Kiki is still second at the moment. Movement is now into the pits as well. So it's now a 5-car battle. Oh, Scooby Shoo's got a penalty there. Here they are then. New Potato, Kiki, then True Pots, followed by the Ferrari of Higgs, followed by Brooksy as well. My golly gosh there. What an incredible race this has been at the moment there. We're just over half distance out of this one. This one's absolutely flown by, hasn't it? Goodness gracious me. I might be out. Oh my word, what's happened? I don't know. But whatever happened there, I thought there's a New Potato there is teleported around there. Absolutely, I almost fell off my poof then. And that was, goodness me. Not sure if, I think there might have been a bit of connection issues going on there. But my word, that certainly would have woke me up. Oh, who's that? That's Jay Higgs there off the, going wide there, down at Brooklands. He's down in 6th position there. But this is still a good opportunity there for, as Noah said, this is a good opportunity there for Jay Higgs, and the hard tires will be a better tire in this race, I'm sure of it. They've all come into the pits quite early. Dr. True Pots might be sitting very healthy here, potentially, because, of course, he's 1, 2, 3 laps may not be a big difference there, but there is a lot of tyre wear around here. The tyres go through a lot of stress, don't they, through these fast corners there. Remember Silverstone 2013, remember Silverstone 2020, with the two Mercedes are having issues with their tyres. Ferrari had issues with their tyres, I think, in 2019 as well, or something like that. And then, of course, the infamous British Grand Prix in 2013 as well, where we had a lot of tyre failures, didn't we? I don't think I'll get any tyre failures tonight then, but of course, you can never say never. Remember, we had a lot of tyre failures in Austria last week, but of course, that's a completely different kettle of fish because we had rain and we had wet tyres. Duncan Davies into the pits. He had a 5-second penalty for Duncan Dave. I was wondering if Duncan Dave was doing a bit of goal hanging here tonight and just seeing if there would be a safety car out. Kiki's struggling with the pace at the moment there, but remember what happened earlier on in the race there with New Potato scampering off into the distance there and then was reeled back in, wasn't he? So this movements onto the soft tyres. So is Duncan Dave, Marsky and Sick as Muck also on the hard tyres as well here. Wow. And also, as moving as True Pots up into 2nd position and it's past Kiki, but Kiki does not have a penalty. So it is still advantage Kiki at this stage of proceedings. Still advantage Jay Higgs as well, who also doesn't have a penalty as well. Brooksy's dropped off the back of this. He is out of DRS range of the top 3 now. So it's just the top 3 in DRS range of each other. But Brooksy's not too far back. There he is in the Alfa Romeo. And there's the Ferrari of Jay Higgs as well. And keep an eye on Vessier, who came from the back of the grid. It's now been 6th position, flying at the moment. Vestier is True Pots, that's a second 3-second penalty. That is crucial in this Grand Prix. That could be costly. That could lose him a podium here as well. Oh my golly gosh, of course, Dr. True Pots is the closest man to New Potato in the World Championship fight, isn't it? But that extra 3-second penalty is going to put the pressure onto Dr. True Pots and take the pressure off of New Potato. That's also going to take the pressure off of Kiki as well, potentially, then, who is also very much in the facility. Marsky is up into 9th position. He is on the softer tyre. Both Haas cars have gone to the soft tyre here, which is quite shocking, really, because we all know about the Haas's tyre woes in real life, haven't they? But apparently got a B-spec car coming up. New Potato Moomin, I should say, has just set the fastest lap of the race. Winnie is into the pits after only 9 laps on the medium tyres for Winnie there. So something's going wrong for the Mercedes driver. Down in 16th position now. Winnie has a very good pace on some circuits. And other circuits, he seems to be like lost in the shuffle, doesn't he, Winnie does? So Baku, he was absolutely storming, wasn't he? I think it was Spain as well, where he was flying as well for Winnie. But then there's then of course races like tonight there. He's just in the mid near the back of the field there. Very interesting. Marsky's fuel light is on. Nosy is saying, golly gosh, that's not good for Marsky, who's battling in the 9th position. So got a bit of contact then between the front two here, and they're almost out of DRS range of Kiki, because I think Dr. True Pots knows he's got to really get himself get himself going to move on now. See, he's all over the back of the Ferrari. Look, there's Harvester for the Ferrari. We can tell that from the rear rain like that. On the outside, track position takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. Now he has to build a 3-second buffer to Nude Potato at least. Vestier has dropped behind Slayer there. So Vestier down in 7th position there. I thought he might have been catched up to Jay Higgs. They're both catched up to Jay Higgs there, who's on the hard tyre. But this one's far from done, isn't it there? But that's bad news there for... That's bad news for Marsky, who's got the fuel lights on already. We're only on lap 6 here. Serious Mushroom has bowed as well in the 12th position now. Of course, you remember a couple of laps ago, about 10 laps or so ago, I said Serious Mushroom wasn't really making much progress. He's now in the 12th end, so steady progress from the Mushroom here tonight. He may be able to get some points as well, because he doesn't have any penalties, and that has been Mushroom's MO. And here is the man that Alex is concerned about. Is Marsky there with the fuel light, with lack of fuel already. That is not good at all, is it? Unfortunately for Marsky, I do fear that he may not get to the end at the end of this race then, but we'll see how this one transpires. Kiki's got a penalty, and goodness me, the race is now once again thrown on its head there, and it's now advantage Nude Potato in terms of penalties. We'll take a look at the penalties overall in just a jiffy, but before we do so, can Dr. True Pots fend off the attack from the bronze championship leader, the man who won the first ever bronze world championship back umpteen seasons ago? It is New Potato. Vessier getting past Slayer and back up into 6th position there. Jay Higgs will be happy with these two battling, because look, there's the Ferrari just up in front of us. He's 4 seconds away from Brooksy at the moment, and Jay Higgs are struggling to keep up with the top the top runners as well, and Moomin has also been involved in the top running battle this tonight, hasn't he? Which has been magnificent to see. 5 laps to go in this race there, and Serious Mushroom has got past Swanshanks. Swanshanks lost 2 positions there, because Duncan Dave, who has now done a maybe overtake of the season there potentially. Oh, but no, there's contact between Mushroom and Duncan Dave, and now here comes Swanshanks. Also wants a piece of that action there. Vintage on the outside. Goodness gracious me, gentlemen, this is getting very frisky on the Hamilton Straight into turn 1, and wow, of course Duncan Dave are on the softer tyres. Oh my goodness gracious me, and that was quite the awakening there from Vintage. I thought he was going to be an airplane crash there. Great reactions there from Vintage. Fantastic stuff indeed. Look at this now. Look at this now. New Potato has Look at this now. New Potato has now caught up to the back of the Alpine now, because the Alpine now has got 13%. As has the Friday, and we've got the telemetry on as well now. Down the hanger straight once again. Look at that. 11 seconds of penalty there for Dr. True Pots. Unless of course it looks like a 5-second penalty for speeding the pit lane. That's usually a slam dunk, isn't it? But I'm sure that there was a glitch, wasn't there? A week or two ago, was it last night then, with the pit lane coming in there. So we'll see how that one transpires then. But yeah. DRS. That's not ideal. Then usually a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane is usually, well, done and dusted, really, isn't it? Lock him up and throw away the keys kind of thing, isn't it? It's very rare you get a pit lane infringement there overturned. We've got all kinds of action going on in the background, haven't we? As Duncan Davis got past Serious Mushroom, and now the two Aston Martins have swapped positions as well as Sickles Muck keeping the penalties down quite nicely tonight. Then he's got past teammate Swanshanks, who's got a 5-second penalty for also speeding in the pit lane. Two drivers there, unfortunately, being slapped on the wrist and for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. Back at the front now, I just can't take my eyes off of these guys at the moment there. It's too good to be true, isn't it there? Of course, if anyone knows how the song goes. Out of left field, Slayer is still on the rear. Brooksy's past Kiki. Is Kiki struggling now? That looks to be a slow AlphaTauri. Is there issues there for the AlphaTauri team now? Because Brooksy's gone the outside, coming out of left field. Yellow flag as well for I think it's TK off the circuit there. It's a nightmare race for the American driver tonight there. He recovers back on the circuit, but TK is usually at the front, where these drivers are now battling for the race win, but it's not been going too well at all tonight, has it? 22 out of 26 here, down into Stoke corner once again, and it is Kiki. I'm not sure what happened with Kiki. Did he make a mistake then? Did he get a bit of a swaffer on? It may have been a minor mistake there, but it was still a mistake that has cost him a podium at the moment here. And of course, he did get a penalty as well, but that's a recent penalty for Kiki. Swatch has got a 3-second penalty. That's a recent penalty for Kiki. New Potato and Brooksy got penalties quite early on in this race, so you just got to keep the pressure up on Brooksy then to maybe for Brooksy to get another penalty. But let's see how Brooksy can handle that pressure. Let's see how New Potato can handle that pressure as well. Jay Higgs is handling the pressure splendidly well. No penalties at all. Same with Slayer and Marvsky and Hungry Stars, Serious Mushroom, Vintage and Smith and Mighty. No penalties from any of those drivers. However, Marvsky is a limping wounded at the moment in that Haas car because he is struggling with fuel at this moment. I've got a very dry mouth at the moment. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring my squash bottle in, which is a shocking behaviour indeed. However, I'm going to have to grin and bear it because I'm going to suffer now like the drivers are, because I'm sure the drivers are going to be very much fatigued at this moment and they push it as hard as they can. This has been a very fast, thrilling and absorbing race tonight, hasn't it? It's been a brilliant race to watch, I must say then. And these drivers, just the speed of this Grand Prix, this race has been absolutely full blast right from the get-go. Apart from the VSC right at the beginning, it has been no VSCs, no safety cars. It has been full speed, gone in 60 seconds. Nicolas Cage will be proud, I'm sure. Kiki would love to get a podium here, wouldn't he, there? Because he got a podium last week there. Can he get a podium 2 weeks in a row here? Slayer then, who has done a great job today, and he is a part of the driver of the day vote. Then it is Vessier, Slayer and Styles then, who is all in the vote for driver of the day. Then is Kiki having a sniff, but no dice in the turn one there. You got a lot more pace than the driver in front of you to overtake into turn one. Brooksy is now 2 seconds away from New Potato. I think that the Brooksy's starting to drop off ever so slightly. New Potato there is just keeping tabs on Dr. Drew Potts. He doesn't need to do anything more now, does he, New Potato? Going for his 4th win in 10 races here tonight there for New Potato, and is going to extend his lead in the World Championship then, which of course going into the halfway stage in a week's time in Hungary. He's looking very, very good, isn't he, at the top of the standings there. This is very much the old New Potato that I was expecting to see last season there. But this season he's very much knuckled down. He has been in superlative form, hasn't he? He has really put in the hours. He's put in the work, Potato has. And him and Ferrari are very much reaping the rewards at the moment. And the Ferrari team are going to be scoring some major big points as well, which will help them in the Constructors' Championship and extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship, which is 39 points at the moment. And Dr. True Potts there has lost the lead then on track. Unfortunately, he already lost the lead then because of the penalty he's got there. Brooksy and Kiki are fighting at Stowe again then. And now Kiki is through. Brooksy's down into 4th position now. And this is the battle for the podium there. But Brooksy's brakes so much later on the outside. It's past Kiki. Can Kiki have a look there? Not quite. Brooksy got a snail on. And unfortunately, because of that, Kiki couldn't take advantage. and is still behind at the moment. Now the gap at the front there is still 3 tenths of a second, but remember on the second to last lap, it is still advantage Potato here. He only has 3 seconds of penalties, doesn't he? Vessier and Slayer is caught to the back of Jay Higgs. Jay Higgs on the harder tyre there. It hasn't transpired as what he would have liked them, but still, what a drive for Jay Higgs. I'm loving Jay Higgs in ALR. It's been brilliant, actually, right from the get-go, whether it's in Formula 2, gold, bronze, or silver. Magnificent stuff indeed. Has he raced in silver? I can't remember now, but he's certainly raced in Formula 2, bronze, and gold. He's been magnificent. So Scooby Stew and it's into the pits comes Smith and Mighty. I wonder if he's going to go for fastest lap then, attempt at the end here then for for Smith and Mighty. And yep, soft tires goes on for the McLaren. Dr. Truepot's got another penalty. That is costly. I think that's all but ended his hopes now of a podium and maybe even. We'll take a look at the gaps then, but I think he's coming behind Jay Higgs at the very least then as well. Then here comes New Potato. TK has set the fast up of the race. That is, he's just thrown on a set of soft tires. You get a point for fast up. Sickles Smoke's got a 3-second penalty. Sickles Smoke has down in 13th position, which will lose him 13th and will drop down into 14th. Vessier has got past. Jay Higgs has moved himself up into 5th position. Vessier has there. But Jay Higgs just needs to stay within 3 seconds of Vessier on this final lap then, and he will get that 5th position there. And look at this then. And this is the battle for the lead. Then into turn 1 there. New Potato retakes the lead. But Dr. Truepot is having none of it there. Dr. Truepot, of course, has got penalties has there, but he is not giving up, is he? Of course, anything can happen still. Remember what happened on the final lap of gold on Sunday. There's an almighty smash there. Hopefully you don't see it again here tonight, but Dr. Truepot wouldn't mind that, would he? But potentially if it doesn't involve himself, of course. Otherwise he wouldn't really get much delight out of that, would he? Because of course I think he needs to drive around him. New Potato's gone wide there, and Dr. Truepot has retaken the lead there and passes New Potato and back up into first position, I should say. And look at Jay Higgs and Slayer. Don't get fighting too hard, Jay Higgs, of course. Well, no, he has to because Slayer's got no penalties, has he? Goodness me. This is the battle for position there. Kiki, this is also the battle for the final podium spot as well. And look at that, the gap is about a 10th of a second there. New Potato then on the final lap, on the final tour here at the British Grand Prix. It has been an absolute clinic in Grand Prix racing for New Potato. And he retakes the lead there at the British Grand Prix. And Kiki has stolen the podium. Or has he? He has stolen the podium because Dr. Truepot has a lot of penalties then. But New Potato then is coming out of the final few corners, and he is going to win the British Grand Prix. New Potato wins his 9th race of the season, extends his lead in the World Championship as well. And what a magnificent race there for New Potato, and double joy for Ferrari with Jay Higgs, a brilliant drive to 4th today. And we've got one of the Haas cars crawling, and that's the Moomin, who I think's run out of fuel. Marsky has done a great job, hasn't he, with the fuel marshal there. But it looks like both Haas's were very close there to not make it over the grid there. But that's two very important points point positions there for the Haas team. Moving in 10th there with that penalty there. Serious Russian moves up to 9th there with Marsky in 8th there. Dodge Truepot finishes at 7th in the end there. Of course, Driver Day vote is still up then. Get your votes coming in now. There's Slayer on 50%, 40% actually for Slayer, 40% for Vestier, and 20% there for Hungry Styles there. So a very good race indeed then. Dr. Truepot then is still in 7th position now, because I always look out to make sure that he's still in 7th position now. But I think he'd be very disappointed to finish 7th when he was fighting all the way through, wasn't he, in this one? But unfortunately, he didn't get the podium next to the penalty stars. Winnie there just coming through the final couple of turns too, and Swan Shanks, don't think he finished 18th, did he? But nonetheless, I think he'd be very happy to finish the Grand Prix nonetheless. And I really regret wearing this white t-shirt now, because if it's a wet t-shirt competition, I have lost. And there he is, 4th win of the season, his 9th win of his career from New Potato, extends his lead in the World Championship. Pretty impressive stuff indeed there for the Ferrari. As I mentioned, it's a double delightful Ferrari today as well because they have got a first and fourth position as the bubbly is being sprayed on the podium. And, well, I'm not sure about the drivers, but I certainly need to relax after that then. And what an incredible way to end our Formula 1 stint of the British Grand Prix this week. Of course, we do have Formula 2 coming up tomorrow night there. Looking forward to that one because I think it's going to be a doozy. Let's take a final look at the classification, shall we, from the British Grand Prix. New Potato, his 9th win of his career in bronze. Fantastic. Kiki, 2 for 2 on the podium. Magnificent stuff indeed. Brooksy there with a fine position to finish in third position today. Magnificent stuff indeed. And that's his second podium of the season. Jay Higgs in 4th. Great drive with Slayer 5th. Versio 6th. Dr. Trupot 7th. 8th. Marsky. Serious Mushroom 9th. Moving in 10th. Stars 11th. Vintage 12th. Duncan Day 13th. Sickers Muck 14th. Scooby Stew 15th. 16th is Smith Almighty. TK. Nightmare race for TK, but gets the fastest up. Winning 18th. Swan Shanks is in 19th. Only retirement was Alibi, unfortunately. But apart from that, it was a very fast and frantic race here in Silverstone then. And of course, we're going to talk to the drivers in just a few moments' time then. And yes, let's first talk to Nude Potato, shall we? And Nude, what a drive today then. I got to say, it was about lack of penalties. It certainly was the aim of the game today, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoyed that. That was a great race here. I seen Trips had geared up on a penalty, so that let me go.
And of course, you've extended your lead in the championship as well. But was you thinking about that championship, like when you were sat behind Dr. Troops? It didn't feel like you was because you were still fighting him every inch of the way, even though that you was going to win on terms of lack of penalties.
Yeah, as I said, I just take a race by race, and I got pole, so I really wanted to come in front of him because I didn't want to say, oh, you beat me because of penalties. Because I enjoyed that. Credit to Kiki and Troops. I enjoyed the battle of those two lads there tonight.
My goodness me, at the beginning of that race as well, you had 6 cars around you. How difficult was it to determine who was doing what then? I think that Jay Higgs was on the medium tires, but everyone else was on the hards there. How difficult was it for you to gauge that? And was you concerned about maybe someone jumping you with the undercut?
I thought Kiki was going to jump me. I was going to go on and try and get the soft, and then nah, I'll just run with the flow because go run that I'd lost too much time. So I come out then and I was waving tight to Kiki, and I got lucky I got by him. So I just went from there. But see, once the DRS stream was there, that was it. There was no breaking that 1 second. But then at the end up, once I think Brooks caught up with Kiki, that let me and Troops sort of pull away then.
And your lowest finishing position this season is 4th, not including the sprint races there. You did have you unfortunately have a retirement a few races ago as well, but you have been smashing in the results there all through the season. You're in a rich run of form, and then going into the Hungarian Grand Prix in a week's time. Then, of course, I do. You always say that you don't think about the championship, but going into Hungary, then, how are you feeling for that track? Is a technical twisty, it's a bit of a dust bowl there. It's certainly different to Silverstone.
That one there's a tricky track. You could be doing well and within 2 corners, you're out. So it's just going to be another one of those ones, as I always say. I'm going to just turn up and race and see how it goes and enjoy it.
Really good stuff. Well done today at New Potato. Brilliant drive there to finish, to win the Grand Prix. Magnificent stuff indeed. Kiki, 2 for 2 then. You got a second last week, and you got a second again this week then. But goodness me, in the opening stage of that race there, you, Dr. Truepots and New Potato was very much, it was a battle royale at the beginning there. He was all leaving it on the track.
That's why I came in a bit 1 lap earlier than them. I thought I was going to undercut them, but just didn't happen. And then for some reason I thought I didn't have no warnings because it wasn't popping up to me, and I went wide and it gave me a few seconds. So yeah, messed me up.
Oh, good. And of course, and that destabilised you when you got that 3 second penalty because you seemed to be in a rhythm, and I think that you was the last person to get a 3 second penalty as well, which you was very much looking very good in that top three. Did that destabilise you when you got that 3 second penalty?
Yeah, because I thought if I didn't get no penalties, I would have took Potato. But then that penalty came up. I got a 3 seconds, and just try to calm it down a bit. Then obviously Brooksy caught me, so yeah, try to keep it with him as well.
And in that second stint, you did drop off to the back in the end. Then was you struggling with the tyre wear in that second stint, or was it just because you was just easing the car home at that stage?
I think I struggled with tyre wear a bit, and obviously I didn't want to get another penalty because I wanted another podium. So, and I think Jay Hings didn't have no penalties behind me neither, and I didn't want to do 6 seconds because he would have caught me.
And of course, I asked New Potato about how difficult it was to determine who was doing what then with the strategy. And of course, you came in early then. Do you think then that if you didn't come in a lap earlier, that potentially you might have been pressurising the front runners a bit more, or is that just the way it goes?
Nah, I think them two are a bit too fast today. Like, oh, I think in the first couple of laps, Potato took a second out of me as well. And obviously, I had to use all my ERS to catch him back up. Then after the pit stop, he took another second out of me. Then Dr. Troops took me, and then Brooksy caught me.
And you said last week that this was going to be this is the start of your season because you really turned it around in Austria. Of course, you got a second in the sprint race and a second in the Grand Prix itself, and you've carried that over tonight with some mega driving and another second in a row. You are very much on a rich run of form going into the Hungarian Grand Prix. How are you feeling? Are you feeling for that classic track? Is New Potato? It says it's a tricky one. How are you feeling about it?
Well, Hungary, I actually like Hungary as well. Probably one of my best tracks. So hopefully get another podium.
Do you
But
think the
yeah,
win's on the
it's going to be
card?
hard. Plus, yeah, there could be a lot of safety cars as well in Hungary.
Do you think
Hopefully
you?
not.
Oh, sorry. Do you think that you'll be able to get the win?
Um, 50-50. Depends how the race goes. That's all I can say.
I cannot wait. Well done, Stay Kiki. Brilliant second position there as well.
Cheers.
And I think that Brooks is also joining us in the podium as well. Goodness, we've got some very happy drivers, I think. Then, Brooksy, in the beginning of the race, then we was determining whether you was just sitting there, just like waiting and watching your parade. Then, but didn't go the way that you potentially wanted to. Or are you happy with this third position today?
Yeah, it was alright. It's hard to follow the cars around the quick corners. So I was saving the RS, but then I was using it at the same time. Then the pit stop just messed it all up. We come out in traffic, and then obviously New Potato and Dr. Troops are just too quick, so couldn't catch them up in the end.
And do you think then that you should come in a lap earlier or maybe a lap later? What would you have done?
I wanted to come in early on lap 13, but obviously Lucas is in my ear saying don't do the opposite. And then Kiki boxed, and I've done the opposite to him. And I think I left it a lap too late.
We'll blame Percy. And and of course, then overall, then you got third today. And of course, it was a bit of heartbreak in Austria last week, then. But what a way to bounce back then with a great podium today. I think it's your second one of the season. Do you feel that because you've had a bit of a rough patch as well? You've had two DNFs and a couple of non-scoring finishes, but this is a very good result today. Is this about momentum now?
I'm hoping. I'm just not consistent with the game. So I'm just hoping it is, but time will tell in Hungary, won't it? If I crash out again, then you know there's no consistency there.
And what do you feel about the Hungarian Grand Prix then? Because it's a completely different track to this one. There's tight and twisty. Kiki's looking forward to it. New Potato's not too sure. What are you feeling?
I'm Sam's New Potato. I'm not too sure. It's just hard to overtake. Obviously you got the straight, like the big straight, but I'm still unsure because there might be safety cars there. So just hoping everyone races clean.
Yes, unlike Austria a week ago, goodness gracious me. And I got to say, no safety cars at all in this one. We did have a VSC for some reason at the beginning, didn't we? Thank you very much to New Potato. What a brilliant drive there. It's fourth win the season. Second podium as well for Kiki today. Brilliant stuff indeed. And for Brooksy as well. And that's a good result for all three of them today. I think they're all going to be overjoyed at that. We'll be back tomorrow night for Formula 2. Cannot wait for that one. And then, of course, if you want Formula 1, then, of course, that's back on Sunday as well. Real life as well. Singapore, thank goodness for that. But also ALR as well. We are in the tight, twisty and dust bowl of a circuit in the Hungarian Grand Prix. I cannot wait then. Brooksy said that there's going to be safety cars, or thinks there's going to be safety cars. I concur with him. I love a safety car.